Okay, good morning, everyone. So as you know, I am not there today, but that's okay. We're still going to carry on with our lesson. We're just going to go about it on a video this time. And so what we are going to do is I am going to go along on this video on the handout, and then as I go, you can fill out your own handout. Okay, so here we are doing adding and subtracting numbers with integer answers. And as we know from Unit 1, from numeracy, integers are whole numbers not including zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Okay, now when we add and subtract integers, when we have the same sign, we add. So a plus and a plus equals a plus, a minus and a minus equals a plus. We add, okay? Now, for different signs, we subtract. And we always take the sign from the bigger number. Okay, now what that means is here, I have 7 plus 10. Now 10 is my bigger number, and it's positive, so I know it's going to be a positive answer, and I know 7 plus 10 is 17. Now here, I have 7 minus 10. Now if I was playing a game with you and you had 7 points, but you now lost 8 points, I can't take away, like I'm going to be in the negatives. Think about it if I gave you 7 Skittles. I can't take away 10. You only have 7. So I'm going to be at -3. Okay. Now I have -7 minus 10. My bigger number is 10 and it's negative. So I know my answer is going to be negative. If I have -7 points in a game and I lose another 10 points, I'm now at -17 points. Now here, I have -7 plus 10. If in a game, if I'm at -7 points and I just won 10 points, I'm now at +3. My 10 is the bigger number and it's positive, so I know my answer is going to be positive. Okay? Now here I have a lot going on. I have a bunch of different integers. So let's kind of group them. So I'm going to highlight my positive integers first. I'm going to underline, my positive integers first. And then I'm going to underline all of my negative ones. Now we're pretty much more comfortable, all of us, working with positive numbers. So let's deal with our positives first. We have +6, +1. And I know 6 plus 1 is 7. Now we have to deal with our negatives. So I have -2 minus another 4. So if you're playing a game and you're at -2 points and you lose another 4 points, you're now at -6. Then you lose another 3 points, you're now at -9. Now if I gave you 7 Skittles, I can't take away 9 Skittles. So now I know I'm going to be in the negatives. 9 is my bigger number and it's negative, so my answer is going to be negative, and I get -2. Okay. Now, same thing here. I'm going to group these. I'm going to underline my positive numbers. And if there's no sign in front of it because the first number there, it's positive. And then I'm going to underline my negatives. And just like before, we're going to deal with our positives first because we're more comfortable with our positives. And I have 10 plus 3 plus 5. So 10 plus 3 is 13. Plus another 5 will give us 18. Okay. Then I have -2 minus another 9. I'm going to go -11. Okay. And then here I have 18 minus 11, which is going to give me 7. Okay, so that's the first side of the page. Now we go to the back of the page, and I have some more practice questions as well as a word problem. So here I know 14 minus 4. My bigger number is 14 and it's positive. So I know my answer is going to be positive. And we know 14 minus 4 is 10. Okay. Then I have 9 minus 15. Okay. So my bigger number is 15. It's negative. So I know my answer is going to be negative. Right? If I gave you 9 Skittles, I can't take away 15 Skittles. I'm going to be in the negatives. And I'm going to get -6. Okay. -3 plus 8. My bigger number is 8 and it's positive. So I know my answer is going to be positive. If I have -3 points in a game and I won 8 points, I'm now at +5 points. Here I have -10 minus 4. They're the same sign. They're both negative. So I add my numbers and I know I'm going to take the sign of my bigger number, which is negative. And I'm at -14. Okay. Now here, I have 20 minus 7 minus 2. So this one's positive. These two are negative. And I'm left with this equals my 20. And then my negatives will be negative 7 minus 2. So I add those two numbers and I keep the sign negative. And I get negative 9. And 20 minus 9 will give me 11. My bigger number is 20, and it's positive, so I know my final answer is going to be positive. Okay, now here I have negative 10 plus 1 minus 3. My only positive one is the 1, and then my two negatives is negative 10 and negative 3. So then I have to go, okay, this equals my positive number, which is just 1, and then I combine my negatives. So negative 10, negative 3. They're the same sign, so I add the two numbers. 10 and 3 is 13. And I take the sign of the bigger number, which is negative, and I get negative 13. So 1 minus 13. And this will give me negative 12. Okay? Now here, I have the same situation. I have a bunch of different numbers. I'm going to underline all my positives in one color. I'm going to underline all my negatives in another. And I'm going to deal with my positives first. So here I have 8 plus 1 plus 3. So 8 and 3 is going to be 11 plus another one. Or sorry, yeah, 8 and 3 is going to be 11 plus another one is going to be 12. And then I have negative 10 and negative 5. They're both negative, so I add the numbers and get 15. Then I take the sign of my bigger number, so I get minus 15. And I have 12 minus 15, which is going to give me negative 3. Okay. Now lastly, it's a bit of a word problem, and it says, Blaze rollerblades 6 kilometers away from home. They then rollerblade 1.25 kilometers towards home. Finally, they rollerblade 0.85 kilometers away from home. How far is Blaze from home? So first, we go 6 kilometers away from home. Then I come back closer, 1.25 kilometers towards home. But then I go away from home again, 0.85. Okay. When I do that, you can use your calculator here, and you are going to get 5.6 kilometers. So you can say word problems require a word answer, and you're going to have to say therefore. That's what those 3 dots means. Blaze is now 5.6 kilometers from home. Okay? So that is how you will do that. And that is the first numeracy handout. So now you are going to pull out your second numeracy handout. It should look like this. It's very similar, adding and subtracting integers. Okay. And we're going to consolidate here a little bit. Consolidate just means we're going to put together what we've learned. So we know if we have 2 positives, we end with a positive. Same signs, we always add. Different signs, we subtract. Okay. So now here I have positive, and then on the brackets, negative 3. My negative always wins if I have different signs. So this is just negative 3. Here I have 2 negatives. If they're the same sign, just like here, if they're the same sign, it's positive. So this is actually positive 4. Same sign is positive, positive 10. Same sign, both negatives, so we have positive 12. Okay? So now here they want us to evaluate this. They're saying 10 plus negative 3. So we go, okay, 10, well, a positive and a negative, they're different signs, it'll be negative. So we get 10 minus 3. And 10 minus 3 will give us 7. Okay. Here we have 20 minus -6 plus -3 plus +4. So I have this equals 20. Two negatives make a positive, 6. Positive and a negative make a negative, and I have my 3. Positive and a positive stay a positive, and I have my 4. Now here I have something like I did on my last numeracy handout. So I'm going to underline my positives, and I'm going to underline my negatives, and I'm going to deal with them one at a time. So 20 plus 6 is 26, plus 4 will give me 30. And then my only negative is my -3. And then I'm left with 30 minus 3, which is 27. Okay? So that's the front side. Oh, and we missed one. -11 minus -7. So here I have -11. Two signs that are the same will change into a positive. 7. -11 plus 7 will give us -4. Okay, so that's the first side of the handout. We're going to flip it over, and we have a couple more practice questions. Okay, so here we have -4 minus -5. Now there's nothing on the outside of the brackets here, so it's actually just like a plus. Okay? So we have a positive and a negative. They're different signs. It stays negative. A negative and a negative, the same sign will become positive. And we have the 5. -4 plus 5 is +1. My bigger number is positive, so I know my final answer is going to be positive. Okay. Here we have +4, and then a plus and a -5. The minus always wins, so we have -5. 4 minus 5, -1. My bigger number is 5, and it's negative, so I know my final answer is going to be negative. Okay, now here I have 40 minus -10 plus +30, and I get 40. Two negatives make a positive, 10. Two positives stay a positive. Okay, these numbers are all positive, so I can underline them all. They're all positive, and that equals 80. 40 plus 10 plus 30 equals 80. Okay, and then the very last one for numeracy for today, we have 4 plus -12. A positive and a negative will be a negative. 12 plus 10 minus -8. Two negatives make a positive. They're the same sign. So we get +8. I'm going to underline my positive numbers. I'm going to underline my negative numbers. And then I'm going to see what we get. I have 4 plus 10, which is 14, plus 8, which is 22. And then I have -12. And 22 minus 12 will give me 10. Okay? So that's it for numeracy for today. And then the next video will go into scientific notation.